California has an agricultural history that produces some of the nation's best wine and food. And next, maybe cannabis. Cannabis is a booming business in California, where those who prefer marijuana and avoid alcohol identify as California sober. But is California cannabis special enough to claim its own designation, legally protected to be called California cannabis? Even though marijuana is still illegal under U.S. federal law, marijuana is an estimated $28 billion business in America. Many states allow recreational cannabis use by anyone over 21, similar to alcohol. And now, the state of California is betting on cannabis catching on, just as the state's $42 billion wine industry did. The California Department of Food and Agriculture is working on a program to brand cannabis from certain parts of the state so consumers will know exactly where their cannabis was grown and how. Sonoma Hills Farm is to receive the California Department of Food and Agriculture's OCal certification. OCal is comparable to the United States Organic Program. It's a way to distinguish a product and usually make a lot more money. For example, a bottle of wine that says Napa Valley red wine is generally worth more than a bottle that just says red wine, because consumers know where the wine grapes were grown.
The major feature is the wind. We're about 9 miles from the ocean, from the Pacific Ocean, and the wind comes blowing in about 30 miles an hour for at least a couple hours out of every day. And it creates this sustained wind that really beats up the plants in a good way. So it beats up the plants and they grow a little shorter, a little stouter, and they also express a little more oils. There's a little more yield, and truthfully, the terpenes are a little higher and the high is a little different.
The buds from female cannabis plants are what is known colloquially as marijuana. The buds are complex. Female cannabis buds contain naturally occurring active compounds, known as cannabinoids. One of these cannabinoids, THC, is known to give cannabis a psychoactive effect, also known as being high. Different strains of marijuana have different levels of THC, from 0.4% to 31%. It's kind of like the alcohol level on a bottle of wine.
Everybody knows about THC as the product in cannabis that gets you high, but there's a lot of other cannabinoids and terpenes that create an entourage effect and really make you feel differently and steer the high. So if those are expressed at a higher level, it creates a more rounded high that has a different experience than just the straight THC high.
Master gardener Aaron Kiefer grows cannabis alongside vegetables and flowers at Sonoma Hills Farm. He graduated from the Culinary Institute of America and used to be the gardener at the famous French Laundry, the next valley over in Napa. He promotes the comparison of wine and cannabis at private dinners on the farm.
Cheers, yeah.
These dinners pair food and cannabis, cooked by big-name chefs. Because it's one thing to focus on growing, it's another to get people to appreciate the art of consumption. Many are so focused on the illicit nature of marijuana that consumption has just been wherever you can without getting caught. Now that cannabis is legal in California, Kiefer is trying to create cannabis lifestyle tourism, similar to wine tasting.
Our dream would be that cannabis is treated as a third leg of hospitality. We've had food and drinks and pairings for a long time. Now we have cannabis to bring in there, and that chefs come here and they understand where their food is coming from. You know, we are drinking wine still, and we have cannabis as well. That world where all three of those pair well together, I think will be absolutely wonderful.
Even though cannabis is well known for its smell, the idea of pairing cannabis flavors and food isn't well known.
Like when I'm cooking with cannabis, it's normally just for flavor. It's not about getting high.
You might take one little puff of cannabis in a coursed situation. And so it doesn't really overpower or smoke out the room, if you were. But it does enhance the meal. Anybody who's ever smoked cannabis knows that it enhances even Cheetos. So why wouldn't it do the same for a talented chef's products?
Some in California wine country don't like the stigma, smell, and water usage cannabis farms have.
It is true it uses more water per acre than grapes, but the amount of effective doses that come off of 1 acre of cannabis It would take 100 acres of grapes to do the same thing.
As California grows its marijuana industry through Appellation laws, there are still tens of thousands of people incarcerated in America for violating marijuana laws. Marijuana is still a Class 1 drug federally, alongside heroin. And millions more Americans have criminal records from marijuana possession. It's estimated that Black Americans are 4 times more likely to be arrested for violating marijuana possession laws than white Americans.
Sonoma Hills Farm supports the Last Prisoner Project, which helps free prisoners who are still in jail from the leftover laws of prohibition of marijuana. So there's people in jail today as corporations are paying millions of dollars of taxes and billions of dollars of taxes to our government. There are people in jail for nonviolent cannabis offenses today because it used to be illegal. So we're definitely supporting the Last Prisoner Project and supporting the release of all those nonviolent prisoners.
The FBI in 2019 estimated that more people were arrested for cannabis-related crimes than all violent crimes put together. So you're paying taxes?
Yes.
To the state?
Yes.
To the federal government?
Yes.
The business that you're doing that is illegal on a federal level, the federal government gladly accepts taxes from you knowing what you are doing. It's
Yes.
not like you're lying to them about what you're doing here. You're really open about it.
We're 100% open. We have our annual state license. Everybody knows what we're doing. We're paying our taxes all the way through. So it is kind of mind-boggling. It is kind of a rift in reality when you think that you're paying taxes and there are people in jail for cannabis offenses. You know, it's hopefully something we're going to fix soon.
Sonoma Hills Farm hopes marijuana consumers will pay a premium to know their grower, just like at some farmers markets. Will consumers be able to tell the taste and effect difference between freeway or farm-grown marijuana, like a bottle of 2 Buck Chuck versus a Dom Perignon? Sonoma Hills is betting the farm. The answer is yes. I'm Mary Beth Albright with The Washington Post.